Hello everyone, LadyPhoenix here, and welcome back to some more Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. So in the previous video, we completed the first palace, which is Parappa Palace, and while we were there, we got the candle, and before we even went there, we leveled up quite a bit, and also got one of 4 heart containers. And in this video, our main focus is Death Mountain, but we do manage to get 2 spells actually. Well, 1 spell and 1 ability, I like to classify it, and also a magic container. So I'm picking off where I left off in the last video from Parappa Palace, and the first cave that we went through, as you guys know, would have been dark, and so was this one. So without the candle, you wouldn't be able to actually see what's going on. But now that we have the candle, we can actually go through this. I don't recommend going through this if you don't have the candle because of these Octorots here, which I don't know why it's taking me forever to kill these guys. But I don't know. I said it before and I said it again. I'm pretty terrible at this game. This is the one Zelda game that I know of that you really can't afford to be reckless on. But whatever. This is our magic container. It acts just like a heart container, only instead of healing, adding an extra notch to your health, or life I should say, it'll add to your magic. So now that we have that, which by the way, that was south of the palace, of our beginning palace, where Zelda is being sleeping at currently, we're going to follow this yellow path up north, and then go up north right here, and of course run into an enemy, because why not? And in the next town over, which is in the Town of Ruto, I believe it's called, to the west, one of the townspeople would mention a trophy or some sort. So in this cave, this is where the said trophy is at. Now you kind of want to lure that blue enemy over to you, because what you don't want to do is get knocked back into the lava, because if you fall into the lava, that's instant death. And that has happened to me a little bit later on in the video, but I got hit with by an enemy and got knocked back or whatever, and I ended up getting killed in the lava, but it's okay. That right there was the trophy, and like I said, we're going to need that in order to get a good spell that we're going to need for the next area. So actually I get 2 spells and 1 ability, quote unquote, that I consider an ability. But we need that trophy in order to get the next ability, which is jump. And jump is a spell that you're going to use quite a bit right along with shield. So this is the Town of Ruto. And of course, we got to speak to this woman. She's going to restore our health for us. And then the older lady is going to restore the magic. I don't believe I go to her because, well, I just got that magic container and I haven't used any magic between now and then. So I don't think I go to the older woman. Now, is this I can't remember if this town specifically has her right here. You need to talk to her. And she'll say the trophy. And then once you say that, she'll say, come inside, see my uncle. And this is the only way you can get inside the house, is if you save the trophy, because otherwise she won't open the door for you to go in. So like I said, once you get the trophy, which we've already gotten, come in here and speak to one of the wise men, and he will give you the jump spell, which will allow you to jump very high. It doesn't cost that much. It's twice as much as shield, as you can see, which is I think about a notch right now. But like I said, if you don't have this spell, you can't continue onward in the game. So it's very important that you get this spell. Now I don't think the mirror lady is here. I'm thinking that's in the next town over, which I think it is. It is. So we're not going to worry about, disregard what I just said about the mirror. We'll worry about that later on in the video. So now that we've gotten that out the way, we're going to traverse through this cave. And I screw up quite a bit because we are approaching Death Mountain. I know what you're thinking, Death Mountain in part 2 in a Zelda game with the crab. Yeah, Zelda 2's Death Mountain, it ain't fun. It is not fun at all, and that guy gives me quite some trouble. I guess that's a boomerang, but for funsies, I refer to them as a toenail. Because, yeah, it's not a lot of room to navigate. They hit hard. And they just throw that crap everywhere. So, we have to traverse through this cave in order to actually get to Death Mountain. We're not at Death Mountain quite yet. You'll know it. And it's not fun because it's filled with series of... it can be challenging to traverse through, but... honestly, to actually get through it, it's as far as like which direction to go through or go to, I should say, it's quite simple. But like I said, we have to fight our way through this crap first, and same strategy as always with these guys. Kind of try to lure them. Now the red ones, they will turn into like a demon or whatever if they land, and the demon will shoot a fireball at you, so be mindful of that. And this right here is what I was talking about. You can't get up here without the jump spell and effectively not being able to advance in the game. So that was the cave. To the forest over there in the right here is a ferry. And I should have taken this ferry because what's going to happen is that in this video, I'm going to collect the Link doll. And I'm trying to avoid the swamp area, by the way, because Link moves slower in the swamp, which we'll see momentarily. So I always go for this Link doll this early in the game. There's 6 Link dolls in total throughout the entire game, and you can only pick them up once. Now, because I like to go to Death Mountain and get it out the way now, because you don't have to go to Death Mountain now, you can actually wait till after you beat the second palace. But because I wanted to get it out the way now and just be done with it, I decided to go ahead and take care of Death Mountain in this video. Now, because I'm terrible at this game. Like there's no secret to that. Like this. I'm terrible. You have to be up close to enemies in order to hit them. I'm terrible at this game. One of the Link dolls is right next to the rock that we seen over there in the swamp. And I always get that rock because I like to have that extra life to use to traverse through Death Mountain. Now, surprisingly enough, I was able to get through Death Mountain with 2 lives. But I mean, I barely got through it. I mean, barely. And 0 does not count as a life in this game. So if you get to 1 and then you lose a life, that's it. Game over. And as I stated before, if you get a game over, you lose all of your EXP. Which is kind of unfortunate for me because I do manage to level up my life. But I was like less than 200 away from leveling up my attack, which is 1,000. And I ended up getting the game over, which kind of sucked because I lost all the experience points. But by then I already did what I needed to do in Death Mountain when I got the game over. So it's not like I had to start over. But before we go over to the next town, which is the water town of Saria, we want to talk to this guy. This is Baku. And he's going to give us a note to show to the riverman. It's not like I'm pretty sure it's not like an inventory thing, but on this specific square right here where I'm standing is where you'll find the house. Now his house is always surrounded by those jumping things, those jumping blue things. So if you manage to run into that first and then land on the house, that's what's supposed to happen. So right here is the swamp. And I actually got lucky and had a fairy show up. Well, fairies always show up for me. They're just kind of hard to get. Right here on the left side is the Link doll. And like I said, there's only 6 in the game and you can only collect them once. Normally, I will save the Link dolls for the last palace in the game, which is the Great Palace. Because obviously it's the most difficult palace in the game with so many enemies and they hit so hard that you're bound to get a game over in there. And you don't want to get a game over in that place and then have to start all the way over. So I like to get the Link, save up the Link dolls as much as I can and then deal with it. But like I said, in this particular case, I always get this Link doll because it's right there next to Death Mountain. And I for some reason, I thought I had the downward thrust. I can't wait to get that, that's the ability that we do get in this video. And I like to cast a spell jump to get over those guys. Over here in this forest, I think it's a pea bag that's worth 100 points. It's either 100 or 200, but I believe it's 100. I can't exactly remember. We're about to find out. It's 100. So that'll definitely help you out if you're kind of sort of close to a level up. Like I said, I do manage to get a level up for up to 800, which will increase my health. So we do manage to get that. And it managed to get me on the yellow brick road, so I'm not concerned about it. And this right here is the water town of Saria. And we need to show that letter that we got from Baku to the guy in order to progress, because the other end of the map and also Death Mountain is to the south of here. And the only way to get there is if we talk to the riverman. So that's I lost the mirror lady. You have to actually wait for her to come out. So what do you have to do? Talk to her, come in here, crouch down, and interact with this table. How are you supposed to know that? I know that with a guy. So you leave and then you go back to her. And I started to go here, but I was like, no, all of the healing people was on this side of the map. So I figured, well, let me go ahead, talk to her. And the wise man that you're able to talk to actually gives you one of the most useful spells in this game, and that is life. You're going to need it. It's going to give you life and up your chances in Death Mountain. I know it definitely helped me out. Without a doubt. And it's expensive. It's very expensive. See, 60. It's definitely one of the most expensive spells. Phone, shut up. Gonna put you on silent. I thought you were on silent. Apparently you weren't. Okay. Sorry about that. But I'm gonna go over to the next screen and talk to the usual women to restore my magic and restore my health. I'm not in the best of shape. Well, I mean, I guess I'm okay as far as like my attack, magic, and life levels. It's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Plus, I got the heart container and the magic container, so I'm not necessarily in a bad position. It's just that Death Mountain is a marathon, and oof, it's not fun. It's not fun because the problem with Death Mountain is that it's long, and I believe you have to go through Death Mountain twice. Because if I remember correctly, you have to go through Death Mountain in order to get to the Great Palace, but you can't enter the Great Palace until you completed the other palaces. So it's no point in going there. I believe that's how it worked. I could be wrong. Johnny, correct me, because you know more about Zelda than I do. Alright, so we're going to head south in this cave. This is Death Mountain here. Here's a tip. Always go east. Always go to the right. The right will give you the right answer. And another thing that I messed up on is that I ended up losing a life early on into Death Mountain. I think by cave number 3, I had ended up losing a life. And I was just like, this is not good. So I contemplated on starting back over or trying to practice, because like I said before, I'm practicing the game while also recording it, so that way I guess navigating through the palaces would be fresher in my mind that way, and I won't make an excuse to not record the game or whatever. I have put this game off for far too long. I should have did this game, but here I am doing this game, and it's just like, it's rough. And this is the part where I died. I died on this Goriah. I don't know what I thought. I don't know why I thought the orange Goriah, if that's what it's called. I don't know why I thought the orange Goriah was would take less. I don't know why I thought the blue Goriah was taking less health, because I wasn't paying attention to how much health it was doing. I thought it was doing half of a notch and not a full notch. So that was my fault, because I was just being careless at this point. So I've already lost a life, and it kind of screwed me up. And remember, that's with me getting the link dial, because I died before I even got into Death Mountain. So I didn't really necessarily put myself in a great position. I mean, like I said, I got through it, but it was definitely harder than what it needs to be. And funny enough, you can actually see the second palace from the palace where Zelda is sleeping. In that cave, from if you looked further down south from the cave where we got the magic container earlier in the video, you could actually see the palace. That's the palace that we have to go to, but we won't get off into the palace until next video. I know this video is pretty long, and I wanted to do Death Mountain and at least get the rest of the spells, because I didn't get all the spells and the pea bags and the heart container that I wanted to get in conjunction with completing Death Mountain. I didn't do that because I just happened to take a pause and look over at my screen, and I was like, holy crap, I am like over 30 minutes in. I need to stop recording. And plus it started raining, and I was like, So I decided to just cut it here, get through Death Mountain, get the downward stab, and also you know, save the children and everything. But there's still a few things that we have to do before actually getting into the palace. And once again, you do not have to take on Death Mountain before palace number 2. Now, after you complete the second palace, you're gonna have to do it, because going through Death Mountain, and once you're done with Death Mountain, you're gonna head to the left, and there's going to be a rock and a hole right in front of the rock. You want to land inside the hole first, because, well, you don't have no other choice. You can't break the rock right now. You don't have the means to break the rock. So you will have to fall down the hole, fight through a whole bunch of tough enemies, this being one of them, and get the hammer. Once you get the hammer and you get a game over, you're good, because by you having the hammer, you can easily get access back to this area without having to get through Death Mountain. It's not so much of a chore. It's just the part of getting to that hammer, because a lot of those enemies show up and they hit hard, as you guys saw, even with the shield spelled on. So yeah, and then after you get done getting the hammer, you have to use the rock and then collect the other magic container. So yeah, and then I die here. Of course I did. And this is my last life, and I make it work. It wasn't easy. It definitely was not easy, but I am close to a level up, so for the life. I just don't like it because it's hard, because it's just the boomerang thing. If he just threw it and it didn't come back to you, that would be so much easier for me to deal with. But it's the fact that it, you know, boomerangs to you, and it's just like, I hate you. I hate you so much right now. And I hate these guys as well, because this game, you have to be, I just feel bad, and I screwed up right here with this guy, because there's no way I can get past him without getting hit. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and I'm gonna kill him, which was risky within itself, because I was so close to a level up. But I had no other choice but to use my life spell, which was like disheartening in a way, because I'm close to a level up, and like I said, life is the next one that I needed. But I'm glad I did, because had I not used the life spell, I would have died, and that would have been a game over, and all that EXP would have gone to waste. Now, when these guys are up against a cliff like this, if you pay attention, you can kind of get in, hurry up and slash in and walk away when you do it. You just got to time their axe swings perfectly. But when like you're in the heat of the moment, it's kind of difficult to do that. I was happy that he dropped this. And that's a trick that you can use whenever you see a red potion and you kind of low on health and you want to, you know, cast a life spell or a shield spell or whatever. Just cast it in the middle of you getting the red potion and you'll still get credit for, I think you can get most out of the red potion. I think a lot of speedrunners do that for this game. The fact that people speedrun this game is amazing because this game is brutal. Yeah, this game is just brutal for no reason. Hurts my soul. I can't wait to get to the other Zelda games. I definitely have an easier time with those games as opposed to this one. It's mainly because I didn't own an NES when I was a kid. So like my first console was a Super Nintendo, followed by the PlayStation 1. But my very first console was a Super Nintendo, and I grew up with my first Zelda game was A Link to the Past. So, and I thought it was cool. And it used to be my favorite Zelda game, like even after Ocarina of Time came out, because I've played Ocarina of Time. I never got into Majora's Mask when I was a kid, mainly because I never actually owned Majora's Mask. Like I knew people that had owned it, and whenever I would go visit a cousin or something, I would play Majora's Mask then. But as we all know, Zelda games, you can't beat those in one sitting. Maybe Zelda 2, Zelda 1, and maybe Link's Awakening. I don't know about the Switch version. This right here, I ended up saving. So I go back in the cave to make sure it'll respawn, and it does. And that's very key, because right here is where I end up doing it, because this little hole right here that I'm entering, this is where we would get the magic, I guess it's called the magic hammer, or hammer or whatever, kind of like the Megaton hammer, Ocarina of Time. That's essentially what it is. But anyway, Zelda games that you can be in one sit, and you can do Link to the Past. But anything after Link to the Past, I don't think you can beat in one sitting. Maybe and what I mean one sitting, I mean like going for 100%. The Ocarina of Time is a very long game. Anything after A Link to the Past is kind of lengthy. You could get away with doing A Link Between Two Worlds. I'm not entirely sure though, because I've never played that game. But I do have it. But I've never actually played that game. So maybe that, and mainly because it's on the 3DS and it's a direct sequel. Well, I don't know about it being a direct sequel, because Link's Awakening is also a sequel to Link to the Past, according to the Zelda timeline. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, I would say anything past A Link to the Past is you couldn't do. And see right here, I'm a little bit short on my life spell. And this is where it gets tricky, because I go down here and then I go back up, and then I was like, hey, I need that red potion, like bad. Because one hit by any enemy, I'm dead. I'm like super dead. So I take my time with this enemy. I take my time with this guy. Because I was like, if I don't get to this red potion, that's a game over. And then that's it. I don't really care too much about the EXP, because I can easily get that back in the next palace. But I can't get a game over this far into it. So I was just like, no, we got to do this. And I completely forgot that guy was right there. So I kind of got spooked and turned around. Whoopsie. But yeah. But yeah, back to the Zelda games. I think that you could possibly do Link Between Two Worlds, maybe. But any Zelda game after that, I don't think you can beat in one sitting. That's a lot of sitting. Even if you don't do everything in Ocarina of Time, that's still a pretty beefy game. I would like to think that it would take like a few days to do it. Like if you got a whole week off from like vacation or something like that, I would totally do that. Like play games that I haven't had the chance to sit down and play. That's a major time sink. Like Final Fantasy, newer Zelda games. Especially Twilight Princess. I believe Twilight Princess, well, no, Breath of the Wild is out. But for a while, I thought that Twilight Princess was, I think Twilight Princess was the longest. And I think the reason why I did that is because I wanted to save. And I was just like, you know what? If I die, I don't feel like doing all that all over again. So you know what? I cheated just a little bit, y'all. Just a little bit. I didn't want to go through all that. So I don't know. I'm still debating on what to do next, like as far as the next Zelda game. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm stuck between Link's Awakening for the Switch and then Link to the Past. I know if Johnny's watching this, he'll clearly say Link to the Past. Clearly. I mean, technically that would come next as far as like Zelda timeline. But see, if I do Link's Awakening, I don't know if I'm going to do 100% of that game, because it's kind of a pain to do 100% of that game. So I don't know. But let's just hop back into Zelda 2 for just a moment. Let those enemies just suicide off the thing, because like I said, this is lava. You do not want to die, and I'm very close with only one life spell at my disposal. So I got this enemy, and then I have another axe throwing guy. I have no idea what his name is. I don't know what it is, but me face to face with those enemies are way harder. And I know that guy right there. And this is the last enemy that's keeping you away from that magic hammer. Sometimes he do like that right there, throw the axes like really fast, like really close together, instead of taking a pause like he just did there. So sometimes it's hard to defeat these enemies. But I wanted to get him away from the platform because I'm not sure if he can jump onto, if I could jump onto them and mess things up or not. So I wanted to get him away from it. But now that I got the magic hammer, I actually do get a game over, so I didn't need that extra save. I didn't need that extra save, thank God. So I was just like, if I get a game over, I could care less. But it's actually good that I did get a game over when I got the hammer, because it shows you guys, just in case if you do get a game over after the hammer, you know exactly where to go. You can completely bypass the Death Mountain. The reason why I didn't go to the left down there or to the right over there is because it's just a dead end. It doesn't lead to anywhere. And that's that. And I think I died right here, because what will happen is that if you do manage to die or get a game over in this area, all you will have to do is just leave this area and go to the right and break the rock with the hammer, and you'll get the magic container, which will automatically fill all of your magic. And you can just cast a life spell, like if you're just low on health like I am. But I'm about to die, so it's all good. And like I said, I'm not really caring all that much because I got the magic hammer, so it's no big deal. And then I thought about cutting it, and then I was like, no, I should probably show you guys, just in case if you did manage to get a game over, you didn't know where to go. It's very simple though. You'll just follow the yellow path over to the east, and then you will go south at this branch right here. Try to stick to the yellow path as much as you can and break this rock. And then you'll be essentially in the same area. That rock and that cave to the left and that rock will come into play in the next video. And so with this area here. But I'm just showing you guys, this is back where we were at. That's the water town of Saria. But we don't have to, but that's at the beginning of Death Mountain, so don't worry about that. You'll just break this rock and go south. And you're on the yellow, so you're fine. Just go south into the graveyard, but don't touch the gravestones, because if you do, you'll make enemies show up and it's kind of like ghost-like enemies that you don't want to deal with, but whatever. There's two sequences here. One deals with these annoying bubbles that I get hit right here, yeah. And don't worry, well, do worry, because you got these buttholes to deal with. Like I said, it's unfortunate because I was close to another next level up, but it's okay. I'm more than certain that I can get another level up in the next palace. And he was just all up in my way. And And so was this douche. I can't believe the sword beam actually works on them. And you go in here and that's where we would end up. This is like the tail end of Death Mountain here. So what you would do is come through this cave. And then once you get through this sequence, which by the way, I died right here. Oh, it must be the other one that I died to. I didn't know it didn't appear till last minute. Right there. And I was in mid jump and I got hit. So, it's okay. It kind of took me by surprise because normally you wouldn't go through the cave. You're essentially backtracking. So normally you wouldn't go through the cave like this. But it's all good. And I honestly thought I was about to die right there. I was about to be super mad at myself. But see, we're back where we were at when we first exited Death Mountain. So it's all good. And I did not feel like dealing with this douche. But I went ahead and took the hits. Oh, did I kill him? Oh, I think I killed him. Huh, what do you know? I actually killed him. That's where we had dropped off at. As you break the rock, fall down, to the right is a magic container. And that's that. So now that we've gotten through Death Mountain, we got the trophy, we got 2 magic containers, which by the way, I fought through this time and another time. I don't know why. I was just so happy that I was done with Death Mountain that I was not paying attention to what I was doing here. I was like, oh, snaps. Because I'm looking at making sure I got everything down from my notes from my screen. Definitely need to invest in the dual screen, that's for sure. But yeah. But now that we have all of that done, there is one more town that we're going to enter into, and it's I believe it's the Harbor Town of Mido, if I'm not mistaken. So basically we just go through the caves like we normally would. I think by me going through it the first time, I think all the Octoroks are gone. So I just go through this normally. This wouldn't be for you if you're going through it for the first time, obviously. So I got through that pretty well. The sequences on the bridge automatically happens though. Those are forced sequences, so there's nothing you can too much do about those. But if you just want to avoid it altogether like I do, just cast jump and just be done with it. Not unless you want the EXP. Which I'm not far from it that, well I am, but I'm not. It's not hard to get 1,000 EXP. And it's good because the next one in line is my attack and I really love that attack. Which was another reason why I was so focused on getting that leveled up in the first palace, because I knew I was going to come to Death Mountain in this video first. And I decided to cast life because do I say screw it? Yeah, I was about to say, I think I say screw this guy and just left because I knew I was up there in time. Which was another reason why I had put a like a nice little save state in the middle of Death Mountain like that. Because I was like, if I screw this up, I'm just loading it up. I don't care. I mean, it's Zelda 2. I'm pretty sure you guys forgive me for that. It's freaking Zelda 2. It's a legit save state. It's on the Nintendo Online services, so it's a legit save state. Okay. Just cut me some slack. I didn't want to do all that crap all over again. Now, because I don't have everything that I need, we're gonna have to come back to this Harbor Town because we have to get an item from a cave in order to get the other spell that's here. But like I said, we're just going to get an ability for right now. An ability that requires you to have the jump spell, which, by the way, you couldn't get to this place without the jump spell in the first place. But right up there, you would cast jump and enter the church from the top. But I don't have any magic, so I just had to talk to the elder. She refills my magic. Go ahead and use jump. And that's what I mean by the trick right there. I use jump in the middle of my magic meter going up to full heal. And I essentially just got a free magic, a free spell. I don't consider this a spell because you don't have to go in your spell menu. You just jump, and while you're in the air, you just press down and you do everyone's favorite move to use as a Link player in Super Smash Bros. I was about to say Super Smash. Yeah, Super Smash Brothers. In all of them. The downward thrust, and it works miracles. Later on in the game, we'll get the upward stars. Oprah's thrust. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like, in the next video, we'll gather a few things and take on the next palace, which is kind of considered a swamp palace. So if you'd like to see more Let's Plays or weekend walkthroughs from the channel, please be sure to click on the links in the description below. But until then, you guys take care and have an awesome day.